Hey guys, it is Brido here, and welcome back to our New York Islanders Be a GM series. This is episode 8, and today's episode I have 5 games for you guys today, along with a bunch of other AHL games as well. But while the first game is going to get started here against Buffalo, I wanted to talk a little bit about something I'm going to be doing tonight. I decided that, I was playing around a little bit with the idea of doing a live stream, and I think I've got at the point that, the quality of the picture is quite good. The audio is a little bit laggy, but at the same time, it's pretty much matching up at this point, so I'm pretty confident with it. Unfortunately, it's not through YouTube, as I can't really get it to go through YouTube as of yet. The Google Hangouts are cool, but I think that's more obviously if you're just doing, webcam type of thing. So what I'm going to be doing tonight actually is I'm going to be doing my first live stream for the NHL games. This will be a New York Islanders Be a GM live stream where I'll be playing maybe 4 or 5 games or so, and this will be at 7:30 Pacific time. So right now, this video I'm recording right now, but it probably should be up, around noonish or in the afternoon. So obviously it's a little bit late notice, but I've got the whole day off today, and I wanted to, kind of play some NHL and get this series going a little bit more, because obviously I haven't had as much time to really do this series just because of the balance of what I have to do on what I want to do on my channel. And that's not necessarily mean I don't want to do NHL, but I thought this would be a good opportunity to play a couple games, and you guys can join in and watch in. I'll have all the info in the comments below this, or even just in the description, so you guys can see and you guys can know. Also, I'll have a little bit of a thing on my channel just in the comments in general, so if you haven't watched this video, and you're probably watching this video because you're listening to it, but you know what I mean, I'll have it so as many of you guys can know what's going on. And so the time will be 7:30 for that one Pacific time. I'll let you guys know if anything changes regarding that. But that'll be on Twitch TV, which I'll have again the link to. And essentially this will just be a streaming broadcast where if you're not able to make it tonight to watch it, what I'll be doing is I'll be putting it up afterwards. So it'll just show the whole broadcast. I've never done a live stream personally myself, so I don't know the whole ramifications of it, the audio and whatnot, of how it all works. So it'll be a little bit, a learning process. I'm going to do some testing today to see if I can get it down as much as I can. But hopefully you guys are excited for that, because obviously that's something that I've talked about doing last episode and I wanted to do, but I tried to do, actually the last game of this episode is against the New York Rangers, and I did that as a live stream through the Google Hangouts, and that was very funny because it was just a test and actually people were watching it, and it was just really laggy. It was going terribly wrong, and I was trying to get it to work, and I was at the same time too just having a lot of troubles with it. So like I said, I can't use the YouTube, so that would be kind of handy if I could just put it on there. But I'll have all the description and all the links to go to, and it'll just be on the same account. So Brido, you can look to that on Twitch TV, and like I said, 7:30 Pacific time, I will be having a live stream up. And again, everything will be in the description, so you don't need to listen to me right now and try and figure it out for yourself. I'll have the links in the description so you guys can find it. And yeah, everything should be all good. So the first game there, you can see we played against the Buffalo Sabres, and it didn't go that well. It was a game that I wasn't too pleased with. It was I don't know, sometimes especially with the NHL series, I play these games at very different times of the day. Sometimes I play them as well at points that I might have been playing plenty of FIFA, and you can get they're 2 different games. Or I play other games too, but sports game related. Sometimes when you play different games, they have different controls, and you get all a little jumbled up from that. So it's funny. Actually, I enjoy it in a way because it makes it a little bit more of a challenge doing the Islanders series, because then it gives me an opportunity to have some faults, have some screw ups, because then I don't want this to be that easy. I'm still trying to make it so that it's a challenge for me going through the series. And the Buffalo one was definitely like that, because I was just playing late at night. I was kind of tired, but I'm like, I gotta get this started. I gotta get my videos started going up for this. So I was like, did that one there, and it just failed pretty miserably for us. But I was pretty pumped up to play Vancouver. Vancouver's my team that I cheer for in the NHL, and I wanted to really take them down. They had Luongo starting in this game, so I wanted to also light him up as much as I can too. But we had a really nice first goal, as you can see there, with Okposo, and that's the highlight of the match that will come up once again. And we actually were able to shut them out 3-0 in this one. And what you'll see from this this round of games that we played here too, there's the Okposo goal, is that Markstrom has a really good set of games, and I'm really happy with him. One of you guys said in the past that I should keep with Markstrom if he's doing good, and I did with this. I felt like maybe it would be a good time coming up against the Rangers to give Markstrom a rest at that point, but I decided let's just keep the ball rolling with him because he's been doing such a good job. And it really paid off actually, because he was doing really good and he kept the, like I said, the ball rolling, and he was able to keep it going for us. So yeah, we move on now to a game against the Philadelphia Flyers. And the interesting thing for this, where we are right now is we around the 500 mark for wins column, and it's kind of, we're not doing amazing, but we're starting to get a little bit of a streak here going, which is nice. But the funny part I actually checked out, and I'll have this in my live stream and the next video. I didn't have enough time, or I had time, but I just didn't put it into this video, was the actual standings of where we're at. But the interesting thing with it all is that even with our place being quite low at this time, we're actually still actually pretty close to being division champions at this point, or being in the division lead. So it could be realistic actually that at this point that we might be able to pull that off, which is funny to say this, but it's going to be tough to make the playoffs. But if we make the playoffs, we might very well be the division leaders, because in our division at least we have the New Jersey Devils, who are just playing absolutely horribly at this point. They're not doing great at all. And besides from that, New York Rangers are just kind of floundering around where they're at, and it just seems like most of the teams that are in our division, they're either really just doing all right, or they're in that middle ground where they're not doing that great there. So I'm starting to take a little bit more importance to this, because I'm really realizing that we're actually in a position that it's still early in the season, but if we keep this type of pace up, that we're winning some games, not winning all games, but doing an all right job, we could very well actually make the playoffs with this team. So that might start becoming the goal of this side. Even though we are a younger side, we still want to see what we can do here. One of the things I'm interested to see though is how we do throughout the season, because I've set the injuries quite high. I love having the adversity of playing through injuries, and our first real injury happened going into the Vancouver game. That was Jamie Oleksiak going down for about 2 to 3 weeks or so. So with that said, we brought in Milan Jurkina, who I'm really not too happy at having in the lineup, because he's quite slow and it's very dangerous having him back there. It's like a 73 overall. I know Oleksiak's quite low too, but I really enjoy him because he's a humongous guy and he just lays out players, and at the same time he's actually quite quick for a big guy too, so he keeps his play and his positioning quite solid. But it was one of those things that I'm probably going to be looking into bringing in another defender. I was going to do it this episode without really bringing it up to you guys, but I want to get your opinions as well regarding that. So let me know who you'd like to see as like a young defender. I'm really not trying to break the bank of bringing in a guy maybe high to mid 70s, and it could be younger too with some potential. That's really what I'm looking for. Let me know if you'd like to see someone specific, because I obviously want to bring guys in that you like to see. Here you can see actually in this game that the game was tied pretty much for the whole game, and in the last couple seconds they were actually able to score with Yoensu on a crazy little play that we were able to get a breakout there. So a game that was probably not going in our favor, we were able to squeak out a win. In this episode too, like I said, we do quite well with Markstrom playing quite well, and that I find it funny because I kept saying this in previous episodes that I felt like we're getting these lucky goals and whatnot. That's not really a lucky one there, but it's funny how this series, at least the way I've been playing, usually I don't get these goals in other modes and whatnot, but it's funny because I've just been getting really lucky actually with our team. Maybe it's just a sign that the Islanders are due for a little bit of a turnaround. But yeah, regarding the defender, like I said, let me know if you guys like to see a certain guy being brought in, because I'm pretty open to the idea. I feel like we need to upgrade our defense. The other thing too is that this team, it's an up in the air scenario, because we, like I said, we might be able to make the playoffs. It really depends on our position. I might want to cash in on guys like Mark Streit though, and Lubomir Visnovsky. I'm more Visnovsky than Streit, because Streit's a pretty important player to the team. He's been around for quite a long time. But guys like that are older and have a little bit of value to them still, I'm probably going to cash in and try and make this team even younger when it gets closer to the deadline. But at the time being, I'm still going to be playing them. But I'm trying to, just so you guys know where I'm coming at this team, is I'm really trying to do it very naturally, the change, the rebuilding stage. I'm not one of those people that starts a series and makes 10 trades or something like that and is like, okay, here, we made all the moves that we need to make, now we're good to go. There's another lucky one, as you can see right there. But it's one of those things where I'm very much one of those people that I like to take it, even though I'm playing a game, I like to take it pretty realistically, in the way that I like to enjoy the fact that building a team doesn't mean you make trades all the time right away. Especially with NHL series, I like doing it that way, where we have made a couple trades, and we actually made a flurry of trades at one point, which is a little much, and I was actually feeling like we made a little bit too many. But it's coming up at the trade deadline. I want to start slowly turning in this team into a younger and younger squad. And also, that doesn't mean that we don't need to bring in veteran players. Veteran players are quite integral. But at the same time, too, you know, guys like Lubomir Visnovsky, who actually has been doing really great for us this season. He's our top scorer at this point, believe it or not. You know, guys like him that we could still get value for really is not a part of the picture for the future. Those are the guys we're going to start, you know, looking to move out. The other thing we have to keep in mind, though, as well, is that we don't, you know, we're actually, with the cap being the way it is, we're pretty much at the cap floor at this point, so we do not have a lot of space to really give up players. So we're going to have to, you know, also look at bringing in players that have pretty big cap hits too. So it's a weird situation, but as our players get older, you know, they're going to start, you know, asking for more money. So it's going to be that integration where we're going to still have our veteran players that have those nice contracts and whatnot, that, you know, really fill up the cap space a bit. But when our our younger players come in and they, you know, start really developing more and they want to have a bigger contract, that's when we can start, you know, ushering the older guys out and whatnot. So you can see from the game here against the Phoenix Coyotes that it was a game that we did control a lot of the play. It wasn't that many shots in the game, but actually, you know, pretty much 3 out of the 4 goals were these goals that I was just like putting the puck in the net, trying to do something with the puck, and it just worked out in a weird way that we actually got goals out of them. So again, kind of, you know, bouncing off what I was saying before on the whole luck thing, there's more luck going our way at this point. And you know what, an interesting part as well that was kind of cool for me through this episode is Matt Moulson is still scoring plenty of goals. He's got 10 goals on the season now, which is pretty nice. At the beginning of this series, he was on fire, getting like a goal per game, which was absolutely amazing. But, you know, we can't expect that out of him all the time. But, you know, other players too, like Nino Niederreiter, that kind of started out the season pretty slow, weren't really doing that great, are, you know, starting to pick up the pace now. And that's really what you get out of full season 2. We're, you know, obviously still in the beginning parts of the season, but you get those, you know, points where your top players don't score and then the other players start scoring. You wonder, you know, through a season, like, how can a guy like Nino Niederreiter get 30 points or something like that when he starts off so badly? Well, you know, it all comes around in the end, because really what happens is that a guy like him scores 2 goals in that game or whatever, and, you know, that leads to a change in, you know, actually, or it wasn't 2 goals, but 2 points. It leads to a change in their stats and leads into them actually getting onto a little streak for themselves as well. Another interesting one for us too is Kyle Okposo's really turning on this episode and last episode as well. He was having a terrible start to the season. I was kind of wondering, you know, why do I have him on the second line? Is this guy that we're going to have to look at, you know, removing and bringing in a better player? Because I know that, you know, overalls do change as well, especially younger players at this point. But, you know, with him, I was surprised because now he's getting up to the point where he's actually scoring quite a bit of goals for us, which is nice to see. And he's actually making an impact too, which is pretty nice. So, you know, a little bit unexpected after a slow start, but it's definitely a good sight to see from him as he's starting to put some pucks in the net as well. Now you can see Casey Cizikas in the beginning of this first period actually scores his first goal as a New York Islander in this season, which was nice to see. We brought him up instead of Marty Reasoner, trying to really integrate the younger players in. I wanted to bring in Calvin DeHaan as well to replace Jamie Alexiak while he was out, but unfortunately for him, he was injured. So he's going to be a guy I'm going to bring up, and I really, like I said, bringing out guys like Visnovsky and bringing out guys like Stripe possibly, or, you know, just older guys in general. Those are the guys that are going to start coming in. They're going to be a little bit more unexperienced, but still they're going to give us that little bit more of a younger boon on our team and give us a chance with, you know, really trying to develop some of our younger players, because that's really the goal for our team, that, you know, building that up in that way and whatnot. So all this game, though, this was the one that I did a live stream on. I think maybe the reason why I was lagging so much as well is because I was recording it at the same time. But it was a good game because I really, you know, I'm not, you know, Islanders fan personally, but I respect the fact that these guys have a great rivalry with the New York Rangers, and I take these games extremely seriously. You can see there in the third period, Kyle Okposo with a 7-goal this season. It's a nice one from him there, really helping us tie this one up, and we get a couple more chances to finish off this game, including a one here from Boys, who tries to, you know, move in, doesn't really work out, but Niederreiter gets a great opportunity there to put something away. Doesn't work out. I couldn't believe that one didn't go in, but it didn't really matter because we got the 4-1 win, and we really did great in this episode, minus the start against Buffalo. That's the end of this episode, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Just to reiterate, the live stream for the NHL New York Islanders series will be up tonight at 7:30. I'll have all the info in the description or in the comments below, so stay tuned for that. Again, 7:30 Pacific time. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and again, that will be up as well for people that can't see it, and thanks guys for watching.